I'm 50.
What is it?
I'm 50. I can kick. I can stretch, and I can kick.
Kick and stretch and kick.
50. Do you remember that? Do you remember that skit from Saturday Night Live?
I don't remember that one for Saturday Night Live. No.
Yep. That's Molly Shannon. She was awesome. She was 50. She did it like 4 or 5 times. She did it for the Rockettes, and she could kick, stretch, and I'm getting blurry.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. You need some cataract surgery.
Kick. Go. Oh. Woo. Something. I pulled something.
Well, welcome.
Because I'm 50.
We're back to the Short Attention Gamer live podcast show thing on the Trinity Force Network. Adam was giving us garbage before, saying that we're too old.
Adam is going through the I don't want to call it the dark years of being a father. It is a fun time, but it is also the time where you don't know what's going to happen next. You could be cleaning a diaper or cleaning a baby and putting away a diaper, and then all of a sudden that baby's dirty again. And you can't say, well, listen, I just cleaned you, so you're going to have to wait an hour. You clean that baby all over again.
Yes, you do.
Yeah. So good luck is all I got to say.
Little story, I have to say. When I had my first kid, we brought her in. She had gone to the bathroom, brought her in to change her, and she decided that as we had just cleaned her up, she was going to pass gas, except it wasn't just gas. It was just...
You're welcome.
Yes.
Explosive diarrhea is the best.
Well, so it wasn't really explosive diarrhea. It was just like, hey, I still got some more.
Mm-hmm. Just a little bit more. And then they laugh, which it's like adds insult to injury, and you don't know what to do. You're like, should I get mad? Do I laugh along? And usually I would end up laughing along, especially when our son would pee on either of us after we'd cleaned him, done the bath, and then he'd just pee. And all you can do is laugh. That's all you can do. I mean, you can't get mad. You're like, what the? Oh. And then you just, whatever.
Don't let him hear this story right now, because he's a
college student.
He's a grown man.
I know. And so he deserves it, because he peed on us at least once in his life. Both of us. More than one time. So that's the way it is. Hey, so you got a rad looking room there.
I'm tired here. Yeah, so this is the same room.
I know, but it looks bigger.
I'm in a different location. I used to be right back over there.
Yeah.
But I moved the desk over here, and I set up my old TV over there. I don't know.
I like what's going on back there.
I don't know if I'm going to keep the backdrop. Where's my hand? There.
Yep, right there.
The backdrop going. Maybe I could shut that off if it gets distracting for people. That's just the Nintendo Classic just playing.
I like it.
Screensaver style.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty neat. But like as soon as I had this set up down here, all 3 of my kids were all up in it.
Of course.
And I don't know if you can see it. There's a Disney Infinity little platform right there.
Yeah.
And they just had all the figures just all over the place. I'm like, no, it's got to go.
Hey, they made a nerd cave that was awesome. You let the figures live.
Well, they're living. You can see them in the back, all the way back.
I see them now.
There.
Yeah, I see them. Okay, good.
They're actually in those cabinets right there as well. So,
what's happening on top of the cabinet? What's going on up there?
Oh, on top, those are Lego architecture.
Oh, those are cool too.
Yeah, I have a bunch of them. I have one more that I have to build, but they were just like hanging out in my living room. I'm like, you know what? This seems like a perfect place for
That is a good place for him.
But I still gotta do something behind me. There's just a big old there. Let me just.
Yeah. Whoa.
Big old empty spot over there. Nothing going on. But that's where the desk used to be, right over there.
But back to the Lego figures. What if you put a Millennium Falcon like descending upon all of those? That'd be awesome.
That would be cool, but that thing is like $800.
Okay, go fund me for a Millennium Falcon.
It's either get futon, maybe
Oh
a
well.
college style futon right behind me,
Uh-huh.
and maybe a couple air conditioners because we need new air conditioners for the house. So maybe it's a couple
Yeah.
window air or the Millennium Falcon, one
Okay.
or the others.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. I see where you're coming from. Yep. You're in the realm of priorities. And what do you prioritize? Do you prioritize comfort in the home or some kind of piece of plastic that you build? And I get it.
Yeah,
I would choose the way you're choosing. So
that's because we've lived through
we
a
have.
lot. We've lived through a lot. We've lived through disasters,
We, okay. Yes. Wow.
children
Yes.
being
Yeah.
birthed, as we talked about before, and I seem that this everything's all messed up here.
Well, because it's new.
I'm like down here.
Yeah,
Hey
but
guys,
you sound good. There, that's what I wanted to see. I
this
wanted to
is
see your
just me,
headline.
right like that. That's perfect.
That's
Hey,
that's what I was hoping for.
hey, but you know what I want to live through right now is you said you alluded to it on Twitter, and I
Yes.
thought you were joking, but
No.
you said you had an unboxing. And
Yeah.
an
Do you
unboxing of, is it game related or is it just
Yes.
a box that you're going
It's
to
just a
open
box
up?
of cereal that I want to open up so everybody can see. No, I want to open something that I think is fairly rare.
Rare.
Since my
Ooh.
birthday came around, I kind of went crazy. The thing I'm not going to unbox that I'll tell you I ended up buying because I got lucky, and I'll tell you how it happened. So you and I both been playing Spider-Man. We'll talk about that in a minute. But I ended up with the Spider-Man PS4, and the reason so I woke up one morning and went downstairs, and I had saved it on Best Buy because my PS4 Pro had been messing up, and you knew that with Destiny.
Yep.
Um, and so I started just hitting buy over and over again on Best Buy, and out of nowhere, I got the pre-order, and I was like, oh, okay, it's my birthday. I'm an old man. I could die tomorrow, so I'm going to buy this damn thing.
I'm going
And
to
so
have this red PlayStation now.
yes, and it's pretty cool. And Destiny has not crashed, so that I'm happy with that. But the other thing that I ended up getting, which was another thing that I just kept hitting buy and buy and buy on, was, and I'm putting gloves on. I don't have.
Wait, whoa, gloves?
Yeah, I was in a rush. And so I don't have, usually people use white gloves, and so this is, I'm a little nervous, but this is all I got.
So
And
what?
so
I'm sorry. Can you show those again? Are those?
yeah, this is
those.
this is all I could find because I was
go shovel some snow. With
well,
those
I was in a hurry, and I don't have white gloves, and I know that's what people usually buy, when when they're opening something for the first time. And so I got this.
A DualShock 4. Wow!
No, but it's the collector's edition DualShock 4 that came with it's one of the 500 million limited edition DualShock controllers.
So they're only making 500 million is a lot of controllers.
No, they made the special edition PlayStation, then they made special edition DualShock controllers, and then they made special edition headsets.
Okay.
And so I was happy with the headset that I have, and I could not. I mean, trying to get one of those 500 million PS4s was nearly impossible, and so I didn't get it. But I was able to get one of these, and they've sold out. I mean, to buy one of these now is like $100 on Amazon. I did not spend $100 to get this.
It's just a controller. I mean,
I know, but it's a special. Jim, it's a special edition. Okay. This is my birthday. Don't ruin it.
Congratulations! I'm so proud and happy for you.
Okay, so anyway, I'm gonna open this. It's got the tape right here
with the gloves.
So I'm gonna try to, if I could.
You might want to take off the gloves.
Oh crap!
Wow! You didn't even save the packaging on that one. That's
crap.
Gone.
I didn't.
For those that are just listening to audio style, Todd has destroyed the packaging. So I
didn't. This isn't how it's supposed to. I can't even get it out of the. I don't want to break it now.
Take the gloves off. Take the gloves off.
I can't take them off because I got the controller in my hand. So, all right. Here, this is what it looks like. I was able to save the controller.
It's very blue. It's
packaging. It's got copper. Do you see? Wait, I'm not holding it up. It's got copper on it as well. But yeah, it's see-through. You can see through it. That's awesome.
When you turn it on, does it do anything special?
It probably
does the light just shine like the God of War PlayStation 4 controller actually has,
the light just shines. It's not, but it's got the share says is copper and options is copper.
Oh,
so come on,
it's a very nice looking controller. I don't think
that did not go the way that it goes on. Like when I see it on YouTube.
That's because on YouTube they actually pre-open the box and they have like cuts already made, so they know exactly how to open it. So it's not an actual unboxing. Typically they've unboxed it already and then they put things back, so they know exactly what's coming. So
it's fake.
It's a stage.
So if they did a real unboxing, it would be like what I just did.
Yeah, probably. I think you nailed it, to be honest.
Okay. Did you like it?
I did.
Then that's all that matters.
I can't believe they only made 500 million of those controllers.
That's not how it went, but that's fine. That's what I thought the first time I saw it too, was that there were 500 million of those controllers. But no, there's a limited number. It's limited edition. It says so. It says so right.
That box is awful.
Says 500 million. Dang it, that's not helping. It says 500 million limited edition. So there are 500 million limited edition of these.
That's how I'm reading it, but
so come February, they're going to be selling these for like $20 out of the back of some guy's van.
You got any of those limited edition controllers left? It's like when everyone comes out with a new game, or they used to. I don't know how often they do it anymore, but it's always the deluxe edition, and it's not, you just buy it for the like day one edition, right? Those games where it doesn't really, there's nothing special other than it just says day one on the box.
Yeah, well, this was day one, 500 million. So 500 million people, and probably only about 50,000 got to experience it on day one. There is another 450 million, I don't know numbers very well, that will get to experience it later on in the year.
I can't wait. Can't wait for them.
Yeah.
But speaking of later on in the year, it is later on in the year.
I know.
And that means that games have started coming out. So one of them, I didn't realize that it came out. Shadow of the Tomb Raider came out. And I was like, oh, that came out? I was busy playing something else.
I know. You know what happened with Shadow of the Tomb Raider? Shadow of the Tomb Raider was supposed to come out a week from tomorrow, so last Friday. And because some stores were breaking street dates, they went ahead and released. So they were going to have, a lot of games are starting to have those, get the special edition, you can play it 3 days early or whatever. So stores are getting confused by when they can release certain games versus when they can release the regular edition. So a lot of stores were breaking street dates last Tuesday, and so they went ahead and released the game last Tuesday. So everybody got it.
Okay.
There you have it. I have not played. I have it, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, I'm on the Twitters. A lot of times people retweet things, and that's not one of them.
No.
Nobody's really talking about Shadow of the Tomb Raider, and which is kind of surprising because of how much. I mean, I really enjoyed the first two of the new series. They're really good. I never actually finished the second one. I got really far, and then like life happened.
Well,
and
sure.
I didn't finish it, but I was kind of looking forward to the new one. And the only thing that I know exists as part of Tomb Raider is they have a photo mode in it. And apparently you can change Lara's expression in the photo mode. So including if Lara is impaled on a spike, you can give her a smile. So she'll be smiling,
Excellent. Now,
and then they take the picture.
you know the game's getting decent reviews, right? I mean, it's
I honestly don't know.
yeah, yeah.
I
People say
people
it's a
like it.
good game. I'm excited about it, but I'm in the middle of something else.
What are you in the middle of?
Well, okay, before we get to what I'm in the middle of, can I tell you one more thing about the PS4 Pro?
Okay, sure.
Because, okay, so I went in I decided, what do I need my old PS4 Pro for? It works fine. For some reason, it doesn't play Destiny 2 fine, but maybe that's because I didn't completely reformat the hard drive. So I reformatted the hard drive, took it in, and what's happening right now, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, but it's really hard to find PS4 Pros. They come up and go down on Amazon all the time. So you may see they may have 2 or 3 or 30 or 40 or 50, and then all of a sudden they're out of stock again. Same thing happens at Best Buy. They'll get stock in and then they'll disappear. It's kind of like Nintendo Switch when they first came out. So
why? I mean, why is that happening now? I mean,
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. They're having trouble keeping the Pro in stock.
It's closer to the holiday, but it's not like
I know, and it's not just the special editions. It's just the regular black PS4 Pro. And so last Monday, I was looking online, and GameStop, or I could have sold my PS4 Pro on Amazon for $200, and I thought, I'll keep it for that much. On GameStop, I could sell it for $250, and I thought, oh, that's okay. That's closer. So the next day on Tuesday, the price went up to $300. Now, keep in mind, yeah,
what?
I know. You can trade in your PS4 Pro for $300. It cost me for the PS4 Pro with Spider-Man was $399. So
okay, do they even sweeten it any further? Because sometimes GameStop does hey, you get an extra $20 if you trade in. Anything like that?
I think the sweetener was the extra $50 from Monday to Tuesday.
That's still pretty good.
I was happy with it because that meant that I bought a PS4 Pro with a special edition PS4 Pro Spider-Man version with the game for $90.
And now some poor guy is not going to be able to play Destiny 2 because you
I reformatted the hard drive, Jim, so it's fast. It's the fastest PS4 Pro that they ever made.
Oh, it's the fastest.
It's the fastestest. So I say that I only spent $90, but then I went and did something that I've wanted to do for a long time because it's my birthday. I'm 50 and I don't care.
PlayStation tattoo, tramp stamp, right?
No. No, I bought a 2 terabyte hard drive from Amazon it's a half solid state, half, it's a hybrid hard drive, I guess is the best way to describe it. And I put it into the new PS4 that I have, the new PS4 Pro. It is an awesome hard drive. It makes a difference, a huge difference in how fast games load. Yeah, I've been very pleasantly surprised.
A while ago, I had replaced the drive in my OG PlayStation 4 with a larger one, and it actually did improve performance a little bit, and I could store everything again. So
yeah, I mean, 2 terabyte. I don't need an external hard drive anymore.
Yeah.
So I've been very happy with the new one. I haven't had any troubles, and I've been playing a game that you've been playing.
God of War.
Oh no, are you really playing that still?
I played it a bit. I played some God of War. It's the first time I actually played it.
Okay.
Not still. It's the first, and you know what? Hey, that's pretty fun. But then, like, I just gotta. I did it. I bought into the hype that I typically don't buy into. Mm-hmm. But the hype was there. Everybody kept on being like, Spider-Man.
Yeah, it's one of the fastest selling games ever.
Yeah, it was like story came out today, 3.3 million in a week.
I know.
It's crazy.
So you ended up buying the game.
For an exclusive PlayStation 4 game, Spider-Man.
Yeah. So, okay, so I know we're going to end up talking about this.
Yep.
I'll let you start. What do you think?
Okay. At first, I'm going to tell you, I had some issues with the game. I know you were like, yeah, we're going to have words about Spider-Man. And and I still kind of have the issues with it that I had to begin with. Like the mission stuff that I have experienced hasn't been the best. Like the main story mission stuff at the beginning of the game isn't great. And I know it's just like trying to get you along to probably, it'll probably snowball a little bit, going through. But when you go in and you fight Shocker, literally 2 story missions apart from one another, because, oh, you get him and you throw him in jail. And then, oh, he just happens to escape from jail, and now you got to fight him a second time in a bank instead of in the city streets. Like, kind of lazy, a little lazy for the rating. But I think what kind of exacerbated that a little bit was that in between, like prior to doing a lot more of the story missions, I was just screwing around in the city, just swinging around and like doing like the mini side mission things. And hey, there's a bank robbery over there. You just jump down and like beat up some guys and then go on your merry way. So I did a bunch of that, and then I was like, oh, I'm gonna run through a few story missions. So maybe the intention is to do a story mission, then go off and do some side stuff, and then get back to the story, and like keep going back and forth like that.
And I think you're right, only because that's the way that they couch. So you'll do a story mission, and then Spider-Man will sit on top of a building and say, maybe I should go swing around the city and see if I can help someone.
Yeah, he does. He does say that. You are right.
So I think he's gently trying to coach you into doing something different than just plowing through story missions. And I don't think you want to plow through. I think the game does a good job of setting up the opportunity to go from a story mission to trying to find the backpacks that are situated around the city, or trying to do some of the what's the thing?
Research stations,
yeah, research stations.
Oscorp.
Yeah, I think it does a good job of opening those up throughout the game, not just all at once and saying, "Here's everything. Good luck."
Although to be fair, the game is surprisingly open right after that first story mission that you have to play. Like, you go in there and all of a sudden, like, oh, just go. You can go. Just go.
Sure, you can go wherever you want in the world or in New York, but there are missions and other challenges that don't open up until you complete certain parts of the game. So the research opens up pretty quickly, but then there are other small challenges like Catwoman. Those don't open up till later in the game.
Catwoman.
Yeah, there's Catwoman. Yeah,
no,
see?
In a DC game, in a Marvel game, in a DC.
What is her name? Not Catwoman.
The Black Cat.
What is her name?
Black Cat.
Black Cat. Dang it! I'm sorry.
Oh, some super fan you are.
I know. I feel like you just virtually slapped me. And I deserve it. So
and then there's a Pigeon guy. I just unlocked Pigeon guy. I gotta go swing around the city and grab pigeons.
So see, but those things unlock. You don't have to do it though. But all those things don't unlock all at once. So they slowly unlock as you play the game. And I think that the polish.
You know what? I'm gonna try. That's a second bird side mission. What's it with the bird side? You got the bird watcher. The bird watcher.
Oh,
the lady.
Yeah.
All this. She's watching birds. Oh, I'm just looking at the birds late at night. And I saw these guys come with guns, so I called you Spider-Man. And then you got the guy who's friendly with the pigeons.
Did you do the voice for that? Did you do the voice for that lady in the game?
I did.
If I closed my eyes, that's what I heard was her. That's bizarre.
Thank you for saving me, Spider-Man.
Oh my gosh, there it is again. So don't you agree though that things, rather than just opening everything up, I think of Watch Dogs 2 a couple years ago, and Watch Dogs 2, I love that game and I finished it. But the one thing, I mean, everything opened up at once, and at first it was a little overwhelming. And so I had to figure out how to manage the world or the city.
Yep.
And I like the progression. I like that they give me a little bit at a time. And when something else new opens up, and I go, oh my gosh, do I have to do that too? I'm excited about it.
But then you're like, yes, I do. I actually do want to chase the pigeons. You know what's crazy is I'm a completionist.
I'm not a completionist in completing the entire game, but there are things in games that make me want to complete them. So, Assassin's Creed games, I always want to find the towers and open up the world. And Spider-Man has that similar effect where you have to the radio towers.
Yep.
You have to open up the radio towers, and so I did that immediately. That's the first thing I did, so that I could see the whole world. And then I did all the backpacks. I finished those completely. I did all the Black Cat missions and finished all those.
Hideouts? Did you do all the hideouts?
I haven't yet. I've
Or
done
is it-
all,
do those open up more and more as the game goes too, or are they like one in each zone?
I think they're just. Are you talking about the crowns?
Yeah, the crowns.
Yeah, I think it's just one in each zone because there are other types of hideouts that open up later on in the game. There are other. They look like hideouts to me.
Don't spoil it.
Oh, it's in red. That's all I'm going to say. Whenever I see something in red, I assume that's like a hideout, but they're not crowns.
All right.
So there, did I spoil something?
Yes.
Okay. Are you on chapter? So there are 3 chapters. I know that for sure.
I don't know where does it actually separate them in chapter modes?
You'll know when you finish the first one.
All right, then I'm not even through the first chapter yet.
Okay. Because it's a pretty. I had heard from listening to podcasts and reading some interviews that there's a pretty distinct position or space between chapter 1 and chapter 2. I don't know how else to describe it, but you'll know when that first section of the game, for instance, is over. And so when I finished it, I knew. And I knew when I was on to section 2.
I feel like I might be coming to some sort of climax, sort of speak.
Yeah.
In where I am right now.
Okay. And it's a good story. I mean, what happens to get from section 1 to section 2 is really interesting. And I enjoyed it, and I was surprised by it. And I think that's part of good storytelling too, is that the same thing happened in God of War. The same thing happened in Horizon. There are parts in the story that surprised me, or that, shock me isn't really the thing as much as just it's something that happened that I'm not like, oh, I can't believe that happened. And in this case, I'm like, I can see why that happened, but it's still intriguing.
Yeah.
And so I enjoy stories like that.
I wasn't expecting to switch characters, so that was surprising.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Not necessarily a great moment in the story for me personally, but it was nice to see they're trying to like keep the variety going. So you're not just sneaky Spider-Man doing the things a spider can.
Sure. And, I mean, you'll see. So, trying to create empathy with characters, you'll see instances of that again. But I think they do it well. I think they do it well to progress the story and tell a good story.
Yeah, so, I definitely feel like there's going to be something coming with May's boss. I think that's about to take place. Part of the story was he just said, "Oh, you're in charge. I got to go do something." So I assume like, is that a little foreshadowing? Because Spider-Man's like, I hope he's going to be okay. He seems kind of worried, So they're kind of telegraphing it just a little bit. But
yeah, is JJ watching tonight?
There were some people watching. It doesn't say right now, but.
So JJ said today on Twitter that he platinumed the game, and he said this is the first game that he's ever platinumed, which to me that says something too, because he's a lot like me in that we both jump from game to game, and because we enjoyed playing different types of games and having different type of game experiences. Yeah. But this is a game I can see me doing the same type of thing as platining. Blah, blah, blah,
I got you.
Okay, good. I was struggling with that word.
Yeah, I can understand. I can see why you would say that, and to a degree where as soon as the Black Cat stuff opened up, I went over and I did some of that stuff. I didn't just leave it be. I was just like, oh, her stuff is like super easy. Like it's,
yeah.
But it's kind of like whatever, but it's not. If I'm swinging somewhere, I'm like, oh look, there's a cat on my map. I might as well just go do that. I'm right here.
It,
Um,
and some of those things, all they do is open up costumes, but man, those Spider-Man costumes are so cool. And that what's interesting is,
some of them are cool.
yeah, some are dumb, but there's history behind those costumes, and there's a reason other than a cosmetic reason. There's a reason to unlock those costumes, because you
The
get
trophy.
no, you get powers
Oh
for
yeah,
some
yeah,
of
yeah.
those costumes that you don't have to just wear the costume to have the power,
That's right.
which is
I
really
forgot you can
cool.
actually switch that out. Like
Yeah, that is awesome. I can wear whatever costume I want and use whatever power I want. I think that's great.
one thing I had a little bit of trouble with at the beginning was swinging. Actually, like
That's where you and I first when you tweeted about that, I wondered. I thought, okay, this is where we may differ, but you're right. I mean, that first,
it
I'm
was
with you.
it was like all right, so you do this and then like you got to squeeze both triggers to shoot out both hands at the same time. It didn't feel as natural as I thought it might. And then finally, like after, like I had to actually sit with it for a little while to really get a handle on web swinging. And now, like now I'm pretty good at it. But yeah, like it didn't quite the point jumps, that particular mechanic. It didn't really like explain to me. I'm like, when am I actually supposed to use this? And then you realize, oh, okay, so as soon as you hit that, you can hit X and then like vault off, and you can keep your momentum going. And it's like as soon as you realize that the system is mostly about momentum and just continuing to move forward, I think that was like a switch, a light bulb,
Yeah. Yeah.
over my head.
Yeah. The tutorial could have been better there. I think I agree with you.
But now that I got it, now I understand, and now I kind of just like. I'm wondering if, like, every once in a while when you level up, you'll see, oh, you get 5% faster speed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if there's like one of the suits later on, if you just get like 100% speed increase or something like that. Like, because I want to go fast. I want to see how fast I can go through that city because it's fun. Like that's, I think that's in terms of my enjoyment of the game right now. I think that it's all about the city as opposed to the story of Spider-Man. Excuse me.
Yeah, there's a fast travel option, but I think I've only done it once.
I did it a couple times, and they make it so it's not as dumb as it's like, oh, the game's about traversal. It's totally about how to get from point A to point B. At least that's my enjoyment out of it. But you can just jump to the other side of the map, and when you do so, you'll get a silly little cut screen.
Yeah.
Cutscene. One of them I was on the subway, and there was a guy, like, he fell asleep on my shoulder. So that was funny. It's kind of cute.
Do you want me to give you a hint on those particular cutscenes? If you do it 3 or 4 times, which I say I did it once. I think I did it 4 times, and the reason I did it 4 times was so that I could get. There's a
trophy.
Yes, there's a trophy for that.
There's a trophy for fast traveling.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, they say it's a trophy for riding the subway, but the only way to ride the subway is fast travel.
It's fast travel.
Yeah. So do that. I think it's 4 times, and I think you'll get the trophy.
All right.
Yeah. And right now, I think it's like a rare trophy. It's not a common trophy because people just aren't doing it.
I mean, why kind of would you?
Yeah, because you can swing through the city. Like I said, the only reason I did it was just to get the trophy. Because I saw it and I thought, ride the subway? How do I ride the subway? And then the first time I was riding the subway, I was sitting next to a Times Square Spider-Man.
I want to say they do that on purpose because I had the same first.
Yeah.
First
and
experience.
So I sat next to the Times Square Spider-Man and said, oh, I'm on the subway now. I got to do this at least 3 more times. And then I got the trophy. So,
yeah. So one thing I also am impressed about is the city. And I mean, not in terms of just how cool it is to get around from point A to point B, but the attention to detail in terms of, your typical landmarks of the city. And the inclusion of stuff that's like part of the cinematic universe, right?
Yeah.
You have Avengers
Oh
Tower.
yeah.
You have Doctor Strange's Sanctum.
Yeah, and it's
Sanctum
cool.
there. And it's cool. They put them on the map as landmarks, and then when you like get to it, it's like you want to go take a picture. Oh, I'm here. That's cool. But also, like, I've been to New York City enough to know where certain things are, right? So like when the cops come on the radio and they're like, "Oh, there's something going on over at the Grand Central Station," I was like, "Oh, literally, that's right around the corner." And sure enough, I can navigate there without the map. So
that's cool.
And down the financial district, I went down there for some training, a couple of years ago, and there's another landmark of a place that I visited and walked through. So it's nice to see like my real world experience, just like, oh yeah, they totally did this.
It's probably been 25 years since I've been to New York, so I would get lost real fast, and I do playing the game. But I see what you're saying, and I've heard that same kind of sentiment that if you know the city, you can find your way around, and that's really cool.
And one thing so around September 11th, a screenshot appeared, or a GIF or a video or something on the internet appeared that, oh, here's an Easter egg of the Twin Towers in the reflection of a building in Spider-Man. And I don't know, was that ever confirmed as that was a legit thing?
Yeah, I saw the video too. I saw it on Reddit, and I don't know if it ever was confirmed because I don't remember. I don't remember anyone from the company saying, yeah, we did that to honor 9/11 in the Twin Towers. And the only thing I've heard them talk about is the difference in the sound of Spider-Man when he is swinging, so he sounds like he's active, versus when he's walking.
They recorded 2 lines of dialogue specifically when he's amped up versus when he's just at rest, basically.
So I wondered about the same thing, and I haven't heard anything specific about that.
But I hate to pour some cold water on it, but I think there's some funny things going on with the reflections on the buildings in the game.
Okay.
Like they're not actually where you expect them to be. And the reason why I say that is because when that came out, I was swinging and I hit the side of a real shiny building. So I just stuck there, and there was a reflection of the Chrysler building in the building. And I'm like, oh, so if I look behind me right now, the Chrysler building should be there. And I turned on, it wasn't there.
Oh,
it was like off at an awkward angle behind me.
Oh, okay.
So it's very possible that there are 2 close buildings that could resemble the shapes of the Twin Towers that are just off, not necessarily where you'd expect them to be. So I mean, but you know what? Hey, if it's there, it's there. That's cool.
Yeah, I think they would have acknowledged it, but I tend to agree with you. I don't think it was meant to be that way. I think it was. I see why the person that posted the video, I see why they thought they saw that, but I'm not sure it was intentional.
Yeah.
So anyway, I enjoy the game.
I'm enjoying it more.
You're there
more now, and I again, it's primarily the city itself and all the extraneous stuff that's not part of the main mission that I'm enjoying.
Okay.
The swinging around and then all of a sudden literally just falling off the top of a building and then hitting my triangle button, web swinging down and landing on a bad guy and knocking him out immediately, and then going off and fighting his friends.
I like falling and not getting fall damage. That's what the first couple of times, like, oh no, this is gonna hurt, and then I would land. I'm like, this is awesome, because so many other games that we play, you get fall damage and you just have to get used to it. And it's nice to finally play a game where you are a superhero and they compensate for the fall because this particular character has the ability to deal with it. And it makes it fun.
I almost expected them to have fall damage in a very light touch way. Like if you fall, off of the top of a building, sure, you're going to take some damage. But no, they're just like, nah,
It's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man doesn't take damage. Well, he takes damage, but not when he falls.
He takes a fair amount of damage.
Yes,
In
he
this
does.
game.
But he handles the falls well.
Yes.
So I have enjoyed the game. I that's the reason why I haven't started playing Tomb Raider. Even I finished the first two, so I will certainly play Tomb Raider. But I've been playing Spider-Man and I've been playing Destiny Forsaken. I've been playing Destiny 2 Forsaken. So
Everyone's saying Forsaken is back to where, Destiny 1 had some downtime that kind of stunk. And then as soon as I think the Taken King came out, or I forget which, there's an expansion that came out that basically turned it all around.
Yeah, I think it was year 2.
A lot of people are saying that this is that.
It is. It's a good story. It's interesting, but if you play, so you knew I was playing beforehand, and I was trying to get my character to a point where I could jump into Forsaken and feel like I could actually do things in the world. And I got to that point. I got about as high as I could get in the time I had. And so I started to play Forsaken. I really liked the story, but then you get to a point where you feel like you're farming and you have to do some things in order to appease a specific character so that you can progress the story. And oh my gosh, there's
like
there
appeasing a cat that walks.
I know there are very
me.
few ways. She's just going to keep walking back and forth. There are very few ways to do the challenges and the things you have to do to make this character happy, to get the story to move. So that was frustrating.
I feel like there was a little bit of that in Destiny 1 also. I forget, like the Queen.
Yes, a lot like that. All of a sudden, I felt like I was farming.
Yeah.
Now, the only benefit to that is I was able to get better. So I'm at that point, the Destiny point, I like to call it, where you are acquiring better armor and it's exponentially better. So it's not like better by 2, it's better by 10. And so that's fun because then you're finding new pieces of armor to help you become stronger so that you can continue to do other things in the game. But it was, for me, it was about an hour and a half, 2 hour time where I was just trying to farm to get to the next point in the game. And I didn't enjoy that. I'm past it, and so I'm enjoying it again. I can also do things like the Gambit to help me get past that point. And Gambit is fun. I really enjoy that. Gambit would be a lot of fun with 3 other friends.
Can you explain what Gambit is? Because I haven't. No, you can't.
No, I will. I played probably 10 times.
Okay.
So you know what the Crucible is? Crucible is just basically PvP.
Yep.
So what happens in Gambit is it's 2 teams of 4. And you start in your own world, basically. And you and your 3 teammates are killing fallen, several different types of characters in Destiny 2. And you're collecting, I forgot what they call them, but they look like triangles, basically. And so you collect them, and then there's this receptacle that you put these triangles into. And you want to save them up. You want to be able to get like 5 at a time, because when you get 5 or 10 at a time, you send fallen over into the other camp of the people you're competing against, the other 4 people.
That's cool.
Yeah, and so you send and so then when that happens, that receptacle, the things that you put those triangles in, it drops down and you can't do anything until you get rid of them. And so
that reminds me of like some of the old puzzle games, right?
Yes.
Where like Super Puzzle Fighter 2
Yes.
Turbo, right? Like you would send over crap that the other person had to deal with, while you do well, you save up your your big gem explosion, and then you send that over to the other side. That sounds really cool, actually.
It's very similar. And then so at 25, so when you get 25 of those together, you can send yourself or one of your 4 of your teammates over. And so you can go in, and while they're battling and fighting all these other characters, you can pick them off, which also helps you and your teammates over on the other side. And you can do that at, I think it's 25 and 50, and maybe I think there's one other one. So then when you get to a point where you have, I think you get to 70, or see there, I think it's 70. And when you hit 70, you have, there's a, I always get confused with Destiny terminology, but essentially a big boss. The big boss shows up, and you have to start whittling down the health of the big boss. And once you whittle that down to 0, you win. But the other team is still trying to get to that point, and it takes a long time. I mean, it's like trying to fight a boss in World of Warcraft, or trying to fight a boss in any other big MMO. And that's what it feels a lot like. Is like there's you and your 3 teammates are playing this MMO, but every once in a while, one of the other team will show up, try to pick you off, and you're also trying to beat them. I enjoy it more than the Crucible. And I mean,
how does it show you like the progress of the other team? Like,
up at the top, there are 2 bars, and you can see how many triangles you've put in. So you put in 10, and you may see that they've put in 34.
Does it give you like a warning, like when that other character jumps
when the other team comes in, you hear this wah wah, and then you hear the voice. You hear a voice tell you that they've come into your world, basically. And then you also hear the voice tell you when one of your teammates has gone to the other side, and then it tells you when your teammate's back, and it also tells you when the other the person from the other team has left your world.
That's so. This is very intriguing to me.
Yeah, it's really interesting, and I think this weekend, I think anybody can play Crucible if you have Destiny 2. I don't think you have to have Forsaken to play Crucible this weekend.
You mean Gambit?
Gambit. I'm sorry. Yes, to play Gambit this weekend. I don't think you have to have Forsaken.
They want you to get. They want people to try. It sounds like.
Yeah, and it's fun.
They just gave away Destiny 2 for free for PlayStation.
I know.
Plus, so.
Yeah. So if you got it for free this weekend, you can play Gambit and check it out. And it's a lot of fun. I would love to, I mean, if anybody else is going to be playing this weekend, you or Aaron or JJ, I'd love to. Come on, I'd love to play with friends, because I think it would be fun to use voice chat and try to play the game.
I can totally do. I think all I need to do is just like schedule. Like that's how I have to play multiplayer games, is I have to schedule. Can't just sit down and hope. We'll
have to just send out some kind of something to let people know that, hey, this is when we're planning on trying it out.
Send up a flare.
Send up a flare. And if it's just the 2 of us, or you and I and one other person, then we'll just get a random person in there with us, and we'll have fun. But I think I've enjoyed it with random people. I haven't played with anyone I know yet, and I still enjoy this game mode. So
that's cool. I'll probably eventually get Forsaken. I got a $50 gift card to Amazon, and I was thinking on getting a sous vide cooker.
I was too.
With that $50, but maybe I'll get Destiny.
I'll get the sous vide cooker, because I got that for my birthday, and then I'll mail it to you after I use it once on a steak.
Steak. I have a pretty good method for cooking steak right now, so I
do too. But
I'm kind of interested to see the difference between the vacuum cooking method of sous vide.
Isn't that what else would you use it for? Baked beans?
Well, you could use it for everything. Like, you can use it for chicken. Like, infuse the chicken with some good like herb and butter flavors. But then you take it out, and so I don't know if people understand what this cooking method is. It's basically, you take the meat, you put it in a bag with maybe some seasonings, you vacuum seal it the best you can, and then you effectively boil the meat for a determined amount of time, and it cooks it evenly through. That's effectively how this works.
But the machine does something else, doesn't it? Move the water or something?
Yeah, it it makes the water continuously rotate through the container, so it doesn't like it keeps the water at an even temperature. Where boiling it on the stove, you could have different hot spots. Like
Hmm.
the bottom of a pan is likely hotter than the top of the pit.
Or like a grill. I mean, I have hot spots on my grill that I have to be careful of putting steak or hamburgers on.
Yeah. So I mean those things are like $120
Yeah.
for the good one. You got to get the Bluetooth one, obviously.
Well, sure,
Um,
so that you can check it when you're in the basement.
yeah, and the Wi-Fi capabilities,
Hmm.
and they've got like a whole bunch of like I was watching a review of one. This is not game related, but I was watching a review of one, and there's an app that basically like you just pick what you're cooking, and then you can choose how you want it done. So if you want it like a medium rare steak or something,
Hmm.
you just pick it, and it tells you how long you got to cook it for, and then it'll just send the command to the cooker, and that's it. You got the stuff prepared the night before, and then just throw it in, and you'll be good.
Can you sous vide a pot roast?
I'm sure you can sous vide a pot roast.
Gosh, this is the
Probably sous vide a
future.
potato.
This
Probably.
is this is like Dippin' Dots. It's like the ice cream of the future. Do they have Dippin' Dots up there in the
Of
north?
course, they have Dippin'
Okay,
Dots.
so this is the future, like Dippin' Dots.
Dippin' Dots is a weird thing.
Sous vide is a little weird too, as far as I'm concerned.
It is. So, I mean, the way I do my steaks when I'm actually in the mood for cooking a good steak is the reverse sear, right?
Hmm.
It's a similar method to the sous vide, but without the vacuum part of it, where you just stick it in a low heat oven
Hmm.
until it comes up to temperature, and then you sear it after that. It works well.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
It works really well.
I,
If it comes out of the oven and it looks gross, you probably did it right.
yeah,
So then
see,
so then when it comes out, you got to sear it, and then it looks like a normal steak after
that's what
that.
makes me nervous. So I'm going to show you a picture real quick, okay? I know that's weird to show you a picture, but I'm going to do it anyway. So this is a steak. Can you see it?
I can see the steak. Yep.
Yep. My in-laws gave me that for my birthday yesterday. And because I've always wanted to try to cook, that is a $30 cowboy ribeye steak with the
Yep.
bone in. I have always wanted to try to make one of those, but I would never pay for it because I was afraid I'd screw it up. So that's what they gave me for my birthday. That to me, that's an awesome birthday present, by the way. Um, and
Meats for
well,
birthdays.
because it's something that it's one, to me, a good birthday present is something that you really want that you may not buy for yourself.
Yes.
And that is a good example of something that I really want, but I wouldn't buy for myself because I was afraid I'd mess it up. But if somebody buys it for me, I'm like, well, I'll experiment with it and try. So I
So
have this steak, and
okay,
I really want to make it, but now I'm nervous.
I would honestly. Do you have like a an electronic thermometer that you could like a
Hmm.
probe
Yeah,
that you could
I
stick in
do.
there? I would suggest looking up the reverse sear for this.
Okay.
I bet you would come out really good.
Okay, I will. That's a good idea. What you just I was going to smoke it, and because my smoker would do something similar,
Yep.
because I could leave it at an even temperature, but I think putting it in the oven and doing the reverse sear would be the better way to do it.
I
Because I don't think I want the
I
smoky taste.
I'd recommend it, and it doesn't really take much. You throw some salt and pepper on there, and it's almost good enough at that point. I
Okay.
mean, you could do something like a pan sauce afterwards, like you get
Yeah.
a hot cast iron or something, or even throw it on like a really hot grill just to sear it. But if you use a pan, you can like throw some butter on there and just like baste it with a little butter.
Okay.
That's all you need to do. It's great.
I love it. Or you could fly here this weekend. We could play Destiny 2 at my house, and then you could make this steak. Happy birthday to me.
At some point, that has to happen,
I,
right?
I would assume that at some point we're going to end up in the same place to do a show and hang out together. I'm trying to figure out when. It would make more sense for me to come there around
Like the
PAX time.
PAX time or
Yes.
something. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I don't have PAX here.
Well, your son was supposed to come out here for like lacrosse, but that never
Yeah,
happened.
that didn't work out either, but maybe he will for school, or maybe I'll just go out there for PAX. So I don't feel an obligation to bring him to PAX anymore now that he's in college. He can bring himself. So I will come out by myself and join you. and we'll go to PAX.
All right.
But I have to sleep in your driveway.
Well, good. You can do that.
Could I sleep in that sweet, sweet room you just built?
You can, and it's a floor right now.
That's fine. You said you're going to get a futon. That's all I need.
Yeah, there will be a futon at some point here. So
my grandpa Bones can deal with that. I could live on that.
My son, I told him about it, and he's like, "I want to move my bedroom now into the basement."
Heck yes.
I'm like, "Well, technically, I've got a closet right over here. I got that's a window.
Yeah,
it's got bricks, but
it's got everything you need. It's perfect."
I think my there must be a sleep timer on that.
What? Well, I mean, I know. Oh my gosh, it's almost 8:30. What? It's almost 9:30 in your world.
It is, and I'm like, I'm tired today.
Hey, stay awake till the end here. This is my birthday show. Have you played anything else? Is there anything else we need to talk about? I've only really played those 2 games.
I mean, I continue to play Slay the Spire here and there. I tried out the Lord of the Rings living card game on PC, and I was not immediately drawn into it. I've got the actual board game version, the tabletop version of that, and I have quite a bit of money put into it because you buy the base game and then you buy like all these additional packs for it that are different.
What's the name of this game again?
Lord of the Rings living card game.
Living card game. Okay.
LCG.
Okay.
So instead of like buying booster packs, you buy set specific things to incorporate into the game. Like for this particular game, they have like an entire like Hobbit series.
Oh, cool.
And it's an extremely hard game. It's very difficult, and it's meant to be played like 1 or 2 players. It's not even meant to have more than that. But they have a digital version now on Steam, and I believe it's actually the last Nintendo Direct. I think Asmodee is actually bringing a whole bunch of tabletop games to the Switch. So I think that was one of them.
Oh, cool. So is this one you have played physically with the group that you play games with? Cool.
Yeah, and like I said though, it's not for like a large group. It's for like 1 or 2 people.
Okay.
Primarily.
So
you can play it solo.
Where'd you get it? Is there a local place or online on Amazon or?
I got the game, I think on Amazon. This is quite a while ago, but the problem is they don't continuously print the stuff. You know, it's got kind of that Magic-esque thing where like eventually they're going to move on to a different. They're going to keep making the game, but they're going to stop putting out those specific adventure packs for the game.
Okay.
So when I wanted to go in and like I want all of the Gollum set or whatever, like.
And who doesn't?
It was kind of hard to make sure that I could find a store that was actually selling this stuff.
Okay.
But the big difference is that the living card game is not the board game. They've changed it, so it's not the same game. And maybe I was expecting more like a digital version of it, so I don't have to bring it out and set it up the whole time. But the tutorial was kind of bad. It's still in early access. I wouldn't recommend buying it because to actually get into it right now, you have to buy into it, or at least you did when I played it. So I'd hold off on that one personally.
Okay, well, maybe I'll wait and see what the Switch version looks like. I mean, I know it'll be probably a lesser version. Maybe not. I don't know.
It looked really similar to what I played. Cool.
Sounds interesting. You know, I don't have a PC, and so I don't use Steam all that much unless there's a Mac game that's on Steam. So I don't know. I might. You know, I had pre-ordered. Was it Dark Souls on Switch?
Yep.
I had pre-ordered it. I ended up canceling it because I thought it was going to come out this summer, and I'm at a point where I don't care anymore. Although right now on Switch, starting tomorrow, you can play. There's going to be a beta for Dark Souls. So if you download it today, well, download it tonight, you can play the beta for free tomorrow and just see.
Just
so
to
that's
see,
interesting. Just to see how it works.
Remind myself that I really don't.
Exactly.
I respect the game, but I don't want to play the game.
Yes, Exactly. That's where I am too. I respect you, Dark Souls, but I don't want to play you all the time because I suck at you.
I,
Exactly. See, you know what I
so
mean.
so last show, I before we sign off, last show
Mhm.
you had mentioned we talked a little bit about Octopath Traveler,
Yes.
and you said that there was a demo available and that I should play
Yes.
the demo. I shouldn't go out and buy it, even though all of my friends said this game was great. And you are absolutely correct. I'm never going to doubt you again.
How
It's
far did you get in the demo?
not very far. I picked the cleric person.
Okay. How was their dialogue? Was it a lot of these and thous, or is that just
It
the?
was it was awkward. It
Yeah.
wasn't terrible, but it was definitely awkward. And I didn't really feel like I didn't really get into it. Took a long time to get going.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
very typical, reminiscent of a JRPG. Which,
Yes.
if you're looking for, hey, great, but no.
Yes. So my son got a Switch for his birthday. His birthday, was yesterday. His is on the 14th. And my parents got him a Switch. And he took my copy of Mario Kart, which is fine. He will play it more than I do. His big game is he really wants to play uh, oh Smash Brothers. But he asked me if so he had a gift certificate for Amazon that he hadn't done anything with, and he said, "Hey, would you get me a copy of Octopath for Switch?" And I was like, "All right." So I bought it. I ordered it for him because it was his gift certificate. I didn't care. And I gave it to him yesterday when I happened to see him and thought, well, I'll see how long this lasts. So I have a copy of it that he probably won't be playing by January or February that you and I could play. We can share it back and forth. I'll just mail it back and forth to the two of us. So we'll find out for ourselves. I bet you I will play. If I were to play that game um, with his copy, I would probably get an hour in, maybe two, and go, no, glad I didn't buy this.
I mean, theoretically, right? Theoretically, it makes sense to play that kind of game on the Switch
Yeah,
in the handheld mode where you just suspend it whenever, you can get back to it whenever. But even I was sitting there on my couch with the Switch on my belly,
yeah.
lean back, and I was kind of dozing.
Do you want me to tell you a game that I think people would enjoy more if they gave it a shot than Octopath Traveler on the
Okay.
Switch?
Okay.
The Final Fantasy 15 version. I can't remember what they call it, but it's the Final Fantasy 15. It's the version that came out on iOS and now it's on the Switch. It's basically the exact same game. It's the mobile version of the game.
Okay. Okay.
It is everything that I played it, and I actually own it on iOS. It is the exact same game that I sent you photos of for a year, 2 years ago, almost 2 years ago. Just the characters are much more simplified in terms of the animations of the characters, but the game plays very similarly. And the cost
I still have my disc.
it's
Ready
I
to,
mean,
ready
you
to
can play
play.
it on PS4, or you can play it on Switch now for like 19.99, and it is every bit the game that the Final Fantasy PS4 version is. Surprisingly,
All right.
it's an interesting game, and it's a good port for a Switch game. Knowing full well that Final Fantasy 15 Xbox, PS4, PC version would not work on a Switch, but this version does well. I'm still shocked. It blows my mind when um, companies in Japan make games like this, and I think, why are they doing this? And then I play the game and I think, this is brilliant. Why not do this?
Yeah.
Why not make a game that is every bit as creative and has the same artistic value, just a different kind of artistic value, so that it works on a different system, whether it be an iPad or a Switch or a phone. And so I bought it for my iPad a year, almost, gosh, I think it was in the winter, and was surprised at how much I enjoyed it. There you go.
All right.
iPad.
iPad games. You know, I heard 70% of. Oh, you got the
I'm ready
gloves
for
on.
winter, man. It's
But
95 degrees here, but I'm ready for
it's
snow.
finally comfortable here.
Not here.
Finally,
It's not. Tomorrow, maybe.
70 degrees. 73 was the high today.
It was 93 today. And for the last 3 days, the air conditioning in our office in my building was built in 1926, so it's on the National Registry of Historical Buildings. Our air conditioner is on the fritz, if you know what I mean. And so every day that it gets up about 2 o'clock, my air conditioner in my room, in my office says 72, 73, and it gets up to about 73, 74. Yesterday it was at 82. I said, I can't work in these conditions like
I'm
that.
gonna go home and I'm gonna put on some winter gloves.
I said, it's my birthday. I can't work in these conditions on my birthday. And I walked out. I walked out the door.
And did anybody complain? Did
No, they just looked at me like, oh, God, he is such a diva.
crazy old man Fuller?
Yeah,
There,
old man diva. He's going home to take a nap. And so I did. So,
okay, so you and I shared the same decade for a short amount of time.
You'll join me again someday in 10 years.
10 years we'll be back there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you'll cross over into the 60s.
Yep.
You make it.
Yep. I can't believe that so for anyone who watches our show that's younger than me, which is everyone, it's nice to know that you can be my age. I'm 50. I don't know if I can kick. So it's nice to know that you can get to my age and still enjoy video games and still enjoy the culture of video games. It's fun to be able to see e-games, kind of taking off in terms of being competitive. Both local high schools have teams now, esports teams. The local colleges we have one of the best esports League of Legends teams, Adam, in all of the United States, right here in Columbia, Missouri.
They need to get some sort of sponsorship.
Like they
Trinity,
do. They're
Trinity Force Mizzou.
It's actually, believe it or not, it's not Mizzou that has the best team. It's Columbia College, which took second this year in the college back in June. And I tweeted to Adam about it, and he was very dismissive. So, but that's because I don't know. I know he's like a pro or some. I don't know what his deal is. I don't know if he's sponsored by somebody, and he can't acknowledge the fact that colleges are good at these. I don't know what it is. So, but that's just Adam. I think. No, I love him. We're on Trinity Force because of him. He's a good guy, and he takes care of us. So he's pretty cool.
Does take care of us, and he takes care of his kid too.
Well, he says, I think that the diapers, he talked today about how he's surrounded by just dirty diapers and what else did he say? He said dirty diapers and something else, and I think that's him.
Those are his diapers?
Yeah, I think they're space diapers that he just puts on. And when after he's done his business, he just takes them off and leaves them. And his wife's like, come on, Adam. How old are you?
I'm playing League.
Yeah, I'm playing LOL. I'm lolling. You can't stop me from my lull.
These games are 50 minutes long.
They are 50 minutes. They are 50 minutes long.
Gotta sit here in my Depends and.
Oh my gosh. So he's where you and I were, like we said at the beginning of the show, he's where you and I were back in the day, and I respect him and appreciate him and appreciate.
And now you get to see it happen,
and I get to make fun of him, and that's the best part.
You saw it happen with me. Now you and I together, we get to see it with Adam.
Exactly. Now our kids are moving up into middle school, they're moving up into high school and college, even on my end, and we get to watch him deal with the baby side.
Yep.
And it's good for him.
And I'm never going back.
Nope, me either. Nope, never. I'm done. So
anyway,
yeah, I've enjoyed turning 50. I still enjoy playing games. I'm excited about our next show because there'll be at least 2 or 3.
So you just cracked up there. I didn't hear what you say.
I said
at least 2 or 3 other games probably.
That I said at least 2 or 3 other games that I'm looking forward to that we can talk about in our next show.
And you know what? Now we can do regular shows because I'm not embarrassed anymore. It's a B down here.
It's rad. I want you to
I'm
do
not
some green
embarrassed.
screen stuff at some point.
I could. I totally could
I
do that.
know.
And that was not intentional. It was just like, I like this green. I'm going to use this green. And then
I love that green.
And then I forget who it was, JJ or whatever, is like, hey, you could do some green screen. I was like, I just got to get the lighting even.
It's a great look. It's a great color, and it's a nice basement. You're there, man.
I'm there, doing it.
You did it.
Living the dream. Next week, this is going to be covered with toys.
Maybe.
All right, Todd. Thanks again. This is Short Attention Gamer 140 Trinity Force Network podcast. Signing out. The clean
See
show.
ya.
Nobody else on this network is clean.
We are.
We don't say bad words.
We're number 1.